Well, what do you think, though, is the solution to all this team mentality, tribalism, this team, red versus blue? I mean, that's obviously the cause of, all the angst right now everywhere.
I'll
What do you
tell
think
what,
the answer is?
I will give you that right answer. It took me, and I'll be honest, I interviewed, and I think you should have him on your show. I interviewed the president of the Libertarian Party of Florida.
What was his name?
Steve Nicala is how you pronounce
yeah.
it. Great guy. Smart. Young. 26.
Really?
Yeah, his family owns the Island Grill and 8 Wendy's and all this stuff. And great guy. And I'll tell you why he's a great guy, because he's a visionary. He speaks well. And the views of the Libertarian Party I didn't really know. Now, I was always socially liberal, somewhat fiscally conservative. And when he went over the whole Libertarian Party and what they were, and I had him on, I was in the Keys, blew me away. And then I started researching it. Then I spoke there. They wanted me to speak at what a big event, the state of Florida, annual event. I was one of the guest speakers. And I liked him because I told him, I said, I'm going to fucking blast everybody. He goes, Larry, I know your channel. Blast whatever you want.
Yeah.
And he didn't restrict me in any way. Didn't even ask me what I was going to speak about. I said, do what you want. That's liberty. That's why I like him. When you ask what's the answer, I think the two-party system sucks.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
they're putting you in a box. I don't know what your political affiliation, don't care. Your views is what counts.
Right.
Now, you should have views that represent you. Now, of course, you're not going to get everything of what you want. But there's things in the Republican Party I can't stand. And there's things in the Democrat I'm more okay, but not,
I'm the same as you.
And I think we need to get away from. I think another third party's coming because of you, because of Ryan, because the young people are growing up with more open minds. And I think, they say this, the Republican Party has fucked up because they don't believe in the browning of America is here. Love it. We are more inclusive than ever. I have no prejudices in me. Zero. I just don't have them. It's not in my makeup. The one blessings my parents gave me, I grew up in a melting pot.
Yeah.
We didn't give a fuck. You black, white, Spanish, Chinese, a Martian. If you lived on our block, you were good. If you didn't, you were no fucking good.
What block was that?
In the Bronx.
Okay, yeah.
If you lived in that area, you were
yeah.
good. If you didn't, you were no fucking good. I mean, it's just the way we lived.
Right.
So we didn't have those specific, he's black or he's white.
That's a lot of people from that area too, right? They feel the same way as you?
Yeah, see, a lot of New Yorkers aren't prejudiced at all. Because they live in a melting pot.
Right.
And, I understand it, growing up in it, but I'm hoping younger people, even when their parents were fucked up, and they are, some are, don't hate it, but they just grew up that way. But you have that open mind, younger people. And I think what's happened with the Republican Party, they're not inclusive enough. Obviously, obviously abortion issues and religious issues, and if you're not a fucking Christian, you don't want to fucking hail the flag or whatever the fuck. Stop it. That doesn't make us who we are. What makes us who we are is how we treat people and how we are represented around the world and stuff. Not what you fucking. I don't give a fuck what people pray to or what they do. That's their own business, man. Right. Everybody should have their own fucking say. That's freedom and that's liberty, man. But they want to say, no, we're free, but you have to fucking do the fucking Pledge of Allegiance. No, you don't. Do you want to? I do, but I don't. If someone don't want to, good. The guy wants to kneel for the fucking national, have fucking kneel. What do I give a fuck what you do?
Right.
I mean, that's the biggest. If that's your biggest fucking worry in this world,
that pisses so many people off.
And if that bothers you in this world, you got some fucking issues. That's what bothers you. Our fucking forefathers fought with a flag. Yeah, right. To do that.
Right.
To do that. Hitler didn't let you do that. We'll fucking let you do that. That's what the fucking. I don't get it, man. But anyway, I think, and then the Democrats. They want to give every fucking thing in the world away to anybody who wants. Free college, free this. Well, who's paying for it? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take over the world, so we got all the fucking money and oil and everything? No.
The education thing I can relate to. I do think that the education thing makes sense because
To a degree.
you want smarter people, right? That's the whole thing. You want less losers in your country.
I agree if
right.
you do, but they have to have it make worth something. And let me tell you what I mean.
Right.
When I was doing my program with the court system, it's in the courts. One judge said something. He goes, no, Larry. He goes, you got to charge for that more. I go, why? He goes, it's got to be worth something. Otherwise, they won't understand it. They'll just think, it's another fucking thing I had to do. If you make education totally free, totally free. Now, here's my agree. You want to go to you want to serve the country? I don't give a fuck if it's in the if you want the government to pay for your education, you should have to serve in a voluntary organization for a year. 2 years, or whatever number. Like, if you go to Israel, I'm not Jewish, but I know the countries. If you go to Israel, everybody in that country has to serve in the military for 2 years. Everybody, 2 years. That's given them a national thing or whatever they get paid for. Other than that, but I'm talking about, like you said, with education. I love it. I do believe in giving free education. First of all, obviously, if you have the brain power, I just don't want
to be able
people
to maintain a certain a certain sort of work ethic, and a certain amount of grades. You can't just be failing through college and get it for free.
That's what I meant.
You have to be a go-getter, and you have to be able to have a goal. Be like, I want to achieve this, and you have to.
And in my thing, or they have a couple of things. If you work for the government, in, let's say, the Department of Environmental, if you work there for 5 years, no bill.
Right.
You have to have something to make it worth it. Right. Otherwise, like you said, people are just gonna, let me go to college and waste another fucking 3 years.
What's the alternative? You spend $100,000 4 years.
See, I don't like that.
And you can't get a fucking job.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's stupid. And and we still need, people often say, well, that's because they get a degree in history. Well, it's okay to get a degree in history. I love history. If you don't know history, you're gonna repeat it. So I agree that you should have, but they have to at least do something. Make it worth something instead of just nothing. And I don't mean just for you. If you're asking the other people, because taxes pay it, if you're asking the society for pay for your good education, do something for society. I don't give a shit if it's volunteering on a city council boards or whatever. It's got to be something. And then I'm all for it, education.
Right.
I'm big on education.
Or
anyway.
even if you just have a really successful business, you're helping the economy.
Right. Whatever it is, there should be some kind of worth of something.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
And yes, but in the Democrats, they want to just give this. Or I believe in universal health care. I do. I mean, I don't think anybody should go broke in this country because they got an illness.
Right. I
Shouldn't
agree.
happen.
Right.
But
if you get hit by a car, it fucking paralyzes you, you're fucked.
Yeah, and now you're going to just lose everything you ever owned and everything else because some doctors and hospitals want to make your money, you know what I mean? I don't agree with that. But I do think we need a strong defense.